Agency in Motion continuing education series. Once again, this is a series designed specifically for like agents, producers, advisors, or agency builders in the financial services industry. And today's, center of topic of conversation is, I call it the Starting Gate Online Business Guide. So your online business, or if you're transferring from like physical to digital, there's never been a greater time in history to do that transition to digital, to virtual, and harness the power of what that can do for you, your business, and what ultimately it can do for your clients and your partners if you're building agencies. There's never been more options to consider, decisions to make, or risks to avoid. So even in a time where we have so many advantages, you've got to be aware of the pitfalls. So this is something I put together just to help people understand if you're transitioning from the physical offices to more of a virtual environment, remote working, things like that. These are some things that you have to take into consideration. Number one is dress for success. It can be tempting to roll out of bed, just, stay in your pajamas, get out your laptop. But if you're dressed for sleep, it's going to be much harder for your brain to concentrate and get in that productivity mode. So try maintaining regular morning routines, set boundaries between working and living at home. This is really important. In place of that commute that you no longer have to make, which is awesome, try to replace it with another activity to boost productivity, walking, light workout, meditation. Then guys, actually get dressed for the workday, be ready for the day, and start yourself out with a healthy breakfast. Dressing for the task ahead will make you feel more motivated. It will also help you practice in case of unexpected video meetings. Set and follow a schedule. We don't want to be, erratic in our virtual lifestyle. So here are a few tips on managing your daily schedule to optimize productivity. You want to start your day off by reviewing the tasks that you need to get done to make the progress towards your goals that day. So remember, if you don't know what you're doing or why you're doing it for that day, you've already basically failed that day. So you need to understand what you're supposed to be doing, why you're doing it, and how that's going to benefit you. And then prioritize your tasks by understanding the time investment, complexity, and the impact of each thing that you're doing. And then provide key status updates. We say manager here, but team members, people that you're working with, don't go at this alone. Be accountable, provide updates, and then take regularly scheduled breaks. This isn't about sitting in a chair for 8 to 10 hours every day. This is about working smart. And that means understanding that, you need to get outside, you need to rest your brain. And then when you go back to actually working, bring that intensity, energy, et cetera, that you need. Create a workspace. This is so important, guys, because if possible, it's best to set aside a separate space in your work for home. This is going to help you separate your home life from your work life and activity. It's going to boost your productivity when you're working in a designated space. Communicate this with your friends, roommates, or other people that you have at home that you're off limits during your scheduled work hours. Remember, the more you blend these two together and not have separation, the worse it's going to be to actually separate the two and get stuff done. Pay attention to burnout. Just like you have physical office burnout, you're going to have remote or virtual burnout as well. So if you feel overworked, create work start and stop rituals, like force movement and moments such as walking the dog, schedule stretches, gamified breaks. Try to do things in intervals. So work for a period of time, take some time off. Here's some additional ways. Shut down your computer at the end of the day. When it's time to stop working, stop working. Avoid opening your email or online chat for work once you decided to sign off. And identify an activity that starts around the time you need to disconnect, such as workout, class, errand, or appointment. Like I said, the more separation that you have, the easier it's going to be to separate the two, work and home life. And that will also help you avoid the burnout. Communicate expectations to anyone that's going to be at your home. Remember, your workspace has to be respected. If anyone else is going to be at home while you're working, you must have a clear conversation with them that when you're in your office, that don't bother me. So when you're working, even if it looks like and feels like you're hanging out at home, you're working. It's easy to get distracted by the many things that we have done around the house during the day. Don't allow yourself to. And that goes back to having the workspace, having people understand what it is, leave you alone, and the separation between work and home life. Get started early. When you're working in an office, your morning commute can help you wake up and feel ready to work by the time you get to your desk. At home, however, the transition from getting up out of bed to your computer can be much more jarring. Believe it or not, one way to work from home productively is to dive into your to-do list as soon as you wake up. Simply getting a project started first thing in the morning can be key to making progress. And then gradually throughout the day, you continue to work on it. Otherwise, you're going to prolong breakfast, let the morning sluggishness wear away at your motivation. Get a good start to your day. Don't stay at home. I know this sounds weird, but is your home office just not getting it done for you? Then, break away. Take your work from home and a step further to get outside the house. Coffee shops, libraries, public lounges, wherever, somewhere that you can get work done and stay productive, even when it's not in the traditional workspace. Get out of your home to work and then go to an establishment with actual tables, chairs, and people. It can help stimulate the work environment, removes the distractions, get you in a new environment, thinking differently, and then I'll get you away from the urge to procrastinate and waste time. Yeah, you want to get started earlier in the day and get started early, but you also want to work when you're the most productive, and that's different from everybody. So nobody sprints through their work from morning to evening. You're not going to be able to do that. Your motivation will naturally have an ebb and flow throughout the day. However, when you're working from home, it's really important to know when those ebbs and flows will take place, and then you can schedule around it. To capitalize on your most productive periods, save your more challenging tasks for when you know you're going to be in the sweet spot or the right headspace for them. Use slower points of the day to knock out those easier logistical tasks that are on your plate. And then plan ahead. When you plan out what you're going to be working on ahead of time, it really helps. Spending time figuring out what you're going to do today can take away from actually doing those things. And you'll have planned your task list so recently that you can be tempted to just change or abruptly just take things off the schedule on the fly. It's important to let your agenda change if you need it, but it's also equally important to commit to a schedule that outlines every assignment before you begin. Remember, planning, preparing to win is really important. Try solidifying your schedule the day before, making it feel more official when you wake up. If you have stuff to do, if you have your day outlined, it's going to be a lot better to conquer that day versus if you just go in not really knowing what you're going to do. Like I said, if you wake up and you're not understanding what you should do, that day's pretty much already a failure. Turn off the notifications. When you receive a notification, it can feel as if you need to respond to it immediately. Even when a notification is really not that important, our brain is kind of triggered and it can feel tempted to respond to it because doing so feels great. Wasting time is awesome. Our brain loves repetition, right? So what you really want to understand here is this can make it difficult to develop a balance between work and life. Therefore, you should turn off your notifications for work-related tasks at certain times of the day. After your office hours are complete, you should set aside your apps and use for, the do not disturb. Many remote working tools also allow you to set a work schedule so this can happen automatically. Turn off notifications goes both ways. When you're working, turn off the social notifications. When you're not working, turn off the work notifications. It works in both ways, trying to give you that balance that we're looking for to avoid burnout. Create accountability for yourself. Even though you're working in a virtual space remote on your own, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be accountable to yourself and others. When you're working in an office, you're surrounded by other people who could check in on your work at any given moment. This creates that accountability you need to stay productive throughout the day. The fear of being found unproductive can discourage us from wasting our time there. As a remote worker, you're not going to enjoy that source of accountability. So you need to make sure that you're being accountable in case you get distracted. If you have accountability, you can notice it and you can get yourself back on track. There are a couple ways that you can do this as a remote worker. And that's really not just being accountable to yourself, being accountable to the other people around you. Your teammates will help you remain accountable. Celebrate your wins. We've talked about this time and time again. As a beginning entrepreneur, today what we're talking about is celebrating your wins in this virtual or remote working environment. If you're working in an office, it's easy for you to share your wins. Whenever you're working remotely, however, it can be more difficult. Whenever you complete a big task or do something important, tell your team, encourage them to celebrate with you. This will not only allow the rest of your team to stay updated on your progress, but it will help you feel like you're being part of the team. It'll create that connectivity to everybody else. Everybody else will be celebrating your success as well. And that's another motivating factor that compounds on top of itself. Communicate clearly and effectively. As a remote worker in a virtual kind of digital landscape, you need to spend time thinking about how you can best communicate with your team, with your partners, your clients, etc. This ensures you share all the information your team needs when you need it. There are a few things that you should keep in mind when communicating as a remote worker. Set clear responsibilities. Communication errors can cause a series of problems in the workplace. If you've forgotten to tell your team you're working on a certain task, someone may be already working on that, and then we're just wasting time. Maybe you've been working on a project only to realize that you missed one of the core specifications your boss told you to meet, or your manager, or whoever your upline is. Remote teams can find it more difficult to communicate because coworkers can't walk up to your desk and ask for clarification. They must send you a message, and even if messages are misinterpreted, that's a problem within itself. Thus, it's key to define your responsibilities and keep your team in the loop of what you're doing. Remember, you're not on a desert island, on your own by yourself. You're surrounded with partners and teammates. Have open communication. Block off time to socialize. Remember, you want to have a balanced life. That's going to help avoid that burnout we were talking about earlier. So take some time out of your calendar for socializing, during which you will do no work at all. Each week, you should plan what you're going to do so you're going to be able to get out of the house and socialize with your friends and your family. Plan to go to the movies with your friends, plan a game night, or something else at another friend's house. As you get out to socialize more often, you'll find it easier to do so. And then from that balance, it's going to help you with fresh thoughts, with fresh takes on your business by not always being inside the business. Understand how you get paid. Trading your time comes with two choices. You can trade your time for money. That's an hourly or salary position, or you can trade your time for results, commission, bonuses, or revenue. I put this in here because there's all types of, people working different ways in this industry. Sometimes we work on wage and commission. Most of us are just working on commission. You need to commit to trading your time for results, or that employee mindset will cause stress and failure in the new business, in trying to transfer to virtual and digital. Remember, the average employment position is not designed to offer you freedom. It's designed to pay you a defined amount of money for a defined job. So if you're in this industry, you should be really working on 100% commission base, which is getting the results that you get paid for. Know the risk. Any one of these risks can knock you back. The goal is to calculate the risk for the business that you're in and you choose. You need to ask yourself, if I'm transferring from physical to digital, no matter what's going on, what are going to be the cost? And if they're high, that can be a detriment. If there's no system or process in place, if there's not ability to create marketing, if there's no technology, if you're running out of cash, if there's little to no demand for what you're actually offering, if you can't develop cash flow, and if there's legal or contract issues, these are the risks that can throw a wrench into your virtual or digital business. So yes, understand the advantages, understand the disadvantages, understand how you're going to make that transition and avoid these pitfalls, roadblocks, or obstacles that can really, like I said, throw a wrench into what you're trying to do. Be realistic. Be realistic about what you're doing. I'm going to put this bluntly. Becoming a successful digital entrepreneur is going to hurt a lot. If you want to earn the rewarding, lasting, free, and success that a business can provide you, you're going to have to go through a tough period. That's the reality, but it's definitely worth it if you do it right. Just know it's going to be hard. Going from transitioning from a employee to an entrepreneur, from physical to digital, all of these transitions and and things that we do, it's going to take time, energy, and resources, and you're going to have some tough days going through it. What the people that really are successful, they have grit, determination, vision, and self-belief. Optimism is a big part of what you need. They welcome the hardships, understand they're going to go through those because they know it will prepare them and qualify them for the unlimited possibilities only offered by what we're trying to build here, which is business ownership. For the prize and the freedom of their dreams, they're willing to run the gauntlet. So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to go through the period of time to get this done, to get what you are, expecting and deserving out of this? And then mindset's everything. Mindset is every entrepreneur's must have. It's an absolute prerequisite for success. So we bring this up because as you're transitioning, as you're building a virtual or digital business, you need to understand you're either growing or dying. Stagnation does not exist in our universe. So here is the mindset you need to go to keep growing and prevent that stagnation. The mindset of an entrepreneur, especially when starting out, you must be willing to make the sacrifices because we believe, and you should believe, it's worth it for your future, for yourselves, for your family, for your inner circle, to earn the life that you want, to cross the divide from others owning your time and money to you owning it. You got to become mentally tough. And then you need answers. If you're going to build this business digitally and virtually, you're going to make that transition, you're going to get the freedoms associated with that transition, your mindset has to be in place. You're ready to write down the answers you must have to be successful in the digital business. These answers are prerequisites before you make any move. Plan, prepare, then have a plan of action, then execute. So what industry niche are you going to be building your business in? Remember, this is a very large industry. There's different niches. Which niche are you going to go after? Who will your clients and your customers be? What is your persona? What's your special or secret sauce or formula that you're going to offer? What will you sell and what will the end financials look like? What big problem are you solving for people? And what skills or talents qualify you to help the people that you've kind of carved out in your niche that you want to help? And then people, guys, are still very, very, very important. So yes, digital, virtual, it all has these advantages, but your partners, your mentors, your collaborators, these are going to impact, every part of what you're doing, what your success will look like and what your income will look like. Mentorship is essential for us as entrepreneurs to succeed at every step, whether you're beginning, whether you're growing, building, scaling, whatever it might be. You're going to need the strength and encouragement, the step-by-step guidance and experience from those who have actually gone before you and us. And the camaraderie, that all-important laughter, support, and friendship to help, bear the defeats and share the victories. And then if you're going to go digital, you better go digital. So when you're looking at, transferring, transitioning, adding the digital business to your career portfolio, make sure it has as many of these items as possible. Don't go halfway. Go all the way 100%. Does your business offer video for text, email, web marketing? Is the business ready to manage mobile tools? Can you close sales and communicate with your clients online over screen share? Can clients and customers complete transactions online? Will you have the marketing tools you need to easily generate the leads that you need to build the online presence? Can you communicate with your team 100% digitally? The more remote capabilities you can check off, the better your chances will be to succeed as a digital agent, digital entrepreneur. And then know your why. It's important. Remember, when you're transitioning, when you're building and we're adding something, you always have to know your why. What are your two whys? Who do you pour your money and time into most? If it's you, it's okay. And what accomplishment, pursuit, lifestyle, or dream drives you the most? Once again, it's okay if it's an actual thing. You got to know your whys. Hitting the mark, having a clear, solid plan dramatically increases your chance of actually making it. Eventual freedom over time and money, that's the target that we're actually shooting for. And then determine your target market. You have to know who you're going after. Are you going after business executives, consumers over 40, business owners, retirees? Just which market segment will your business target? Conduct internet research to determine how crowded the field is, how you're going to stand apart, how many competitors you're going to face, and what these competitors are doing to promote their service or products. Remember, You can learn from your competition on both what's working for them and what's not working for them. Remember, these competitors, they have a head start on you, so you want to play catch up quickly. Also, define your service area. You're going to be a national business, you're going to be local, regional. What is it that you're going after in terms of a persona? Where are you going to find them? And what message are you going to give to them that's going to resonate and have them reach their hand up and say, yes, I want to meet with you. Yes, I want more information about this. Determine your target market. And then set goals, both short and long term. During your transition to digital entrepreneur, set several short and long-term goals. Keep that goal-setting mindset once your business gets growing and going. Be prepared to think carefully about where you want to position yourself and where you want to position your business in 1 month, 1 year, and 5 years. Keep regular notes in business and marketing calendar on the goals that you hope to accomplish, when you hope to complete them, and what steps that you've taken recently to get the follow-through. This can help you get motivated and help you stay focused on your goals for the week, the month, or the year. And then prepare for stress, guys. If you think this is going to be a stress-free experience, you're very, very, very wrong. Many people try to prepare themselves for the switch by putting themselves under tremendous pressure and deadlines. While this may be an effective tool for helping you manage crisis situations with much more care, it's not going to prepare you for the stress that owning a virtual business can bring with it. You're going to have to pay attention to things like the success of your website, sales, customer questions, concerns, your finances, and much, much more. As your business expands, all these things can amplify, and you have new problems that you're going to want to handle. And that stress, take it head on. Understand why others fail. People fail because there's no market need. They've ran out of cash. It's not the right team they've surrounded themselves with. They just get out-competed. Their pricing and cost issues, poor product placement, lack of business model, poor marketing. They're ignoring their customers' demands. Products are mistimed. So a lot of the back-end products and services in this industry can be very similar from one agent or agency to another. What you have to understand is, why do people fail in this industry, and make sure you understand that and preemptively try to overcome this stuff so you won't fall into that same pitfall. And then build your sales funnel. You have to have a sales funnel, or more importantly, in our business, it's really an important an appointment funnel. After you know your target market and who that is, you are going to need to go out and build your sales funnel. And the next step is to create and craft a sales funnel, or what we call an appointment funnel. But what exactly is that? It's pretty simple. It's essentially a funnel and a series of pages that are designed to systematically move people towards the action, the next action step you actually want them to take. And then once the funnel's in place, you got to drive traffic. So remember, one of the most important and powerful tools for building an online business is going to be traffic. But your sales funnel is still only as good as the traffic that you're going to drive there. So if you have this great sales funnel and no traffic, it's almost like you have no funnel at all. The goal is to create a funnel that speaks directly to your dream customer or client, that persona that you built. Then find a way to attract those customers and clients into the rest of the funnel. Here's some ideas: social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, all the social media platforms, YouTube ads, search engine optimization, influencer marketing, email list collaboration, banner ads, product or guest post contribution forms. So you have to understand that driving traffic has to be constantly on your mind. Once the funnel is in place, you're constantly driving traffic, and the right type of traffic, they're going to take the next action steps. And then don't get discouraged. There's no two ways about it. Building a digital business is hard work. It requires a lot of trying, a lot of failing, and then trying again. You can't get discouraged. That's a natural part of this process. In fact, your success is ultimately going to depend on you sticking it out for the long term. The grit, that's the secret recipe. Can you last longer than everybody else to see through to the other side, through all the obstacles and challenges that come your way? And then now is the time. Now is the time, if you're, in a physical business, to transfer into digital or virtual. If you're looking to make that move, or if you're looking to start your online business, now is the right time. If you want to start your online business, it's never been easier, more affordable to do so. I'm not referring to like the mega cap companies like Google and Amazon or any other venture requiring massive venture capital, but I'm referring to the opportunity to start an online business that's more driven by your desire to create, feed your passion, lifestyle, and purpose. So if you got into this industry to help people, teach people how money works, spread financial literacy, all you're doing is you're creating an online presence for that mission. Agency in Motion, continuing education series on building, operating, and managing agencies in the 21st century.